call this meeting to order in open session. Welcome to this evening's hybrid Board of Trustees meeting, being held both in person and virtually. This meeting has been made accessible to members of the public on the link at Moreland School District's website and on Diligent. Should remember that. It's not board docs anymore. Any person who requires accommodations to access this meeting has been asked to contact the superintendent's office within 24 hours of this meeting. This meeting is being recorded and may be published online at a later date. Right. With that, I believe we have some special guests this evening.
Some Country Lane Colts.
From Country Lane Colts to lead us in the flag salute.
Invite them up to the podium.
Can you please come up to the podium and introduce yourselves? Come on up.
Flag salute.
Flag salute first.
I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. All the courts, come forward. It's going to be fun. Don't worry.
Everybody on the same side.
That's good. That helps. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you're all here from Country Lane. Can you take a minute just to say your name and which grade you're in? We'll start from you.
I'm Kimia and I'm in third grade.
All right, welcome.
I'm Pradat and I'm in fourth grade.
Okay.
I'm Yoss and I'm in second grade.
All right, awesome. Thank you all so much for coming here. Your teachers and your principal have shared some amazing things that you guys have been doing. Is this yours? That is yours. So I had a lot of fun reading that. So I'm just going to turn it over to my fellow board trustees to see if they have any questions.
Yes, I absolutely enjoyed every single one of the samples of your writing. Really, really good work. And I know you're here tonight because of how much growth you've shown in your writing skills. And so thank you for sharing that with us. That's a really unique opportunity for us to be able to see what you're doing and to celebrate the work you're doing. Could you each take a turn and maybe tell us what you like about writing? Want to start?
I like writing because I could put all my creativity in it.
I like writing because I get to express my feelings in writing.
Yeah.
I like writing because it records or search information. I like writing because it makes my feelings get better. I love writing because you can take it home.
You can take it home?
You can take it home.
Yeah.
You are also fabulous artists
Yes,
too, so
yes.
thank you for that.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I can see that you guys are all holding your own writing that you did. Could you guys share with us and the rest of everyone here a little bit about what you wrote about? That would be really nice. And so, Kimia, you want to go first?
I wrote about this little girl who has this big secret in her. She's trying to tell her friends, but she isn't brave enough. And then when she tells her friends she doesn't really tell the truth, and then her friends get mad.
Oh.
Great summary.
Is this a story that you came up with on your own? Oh, cool. Oh, wow, so creative.
So my writing is about like going back into the past and then coming back to the present.
And you went back to Germany? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Nice.
My story is about when I went to
Would you like to see? This is you? Yeah.
Awesome.
I made it.
You made it up?
You made it.
Oh, cool, okay.
My writing is more information based and also like about the tickets, food, lights, and like different facts about it.
Awesome.
I wrote about bald eagles, and they are from Green Bay, California.
Nice.
That's
Why,
right, yeah.
why bald eagles?
Huh?
Why did you choose bald eagles?
Oh, my teacher did it.
Oh, you should put it on. Last time, what did you write about?
Well, I made up how to
How to draw an apple?
Yes.
And this is the apple that you drew? Good job. Thank you, guys.
I just want to say thank you to you guys for sharing your amazing writing. And I can see how each of you have put so much time and effort into your thoughts, into what you want to share with us, from drawing the apple, which is great because I don't know how to draw an apple, to going to the beach, and illustrating pictures of your friends and family, sharing that with us, even your ideas of all the ideas of like that you've put together in your head or mind as nonfiction or fictional stories that you put together. I like the use of sort of like, what is it, onomatopoeias, like screech, and like you, how you're writing, your punctuations, and learning how to do that is amazing. All of your effort goes to show that, you know, it's not that hard if you piece it together. Although I had a hard time, you know, putting paragraphs together as well. But this goes to show how easy it is when you put it piece by piece, and when it really comes from the heart or from what you've learned, how easy it is for us to be able to read and see. So thanks for sharing it with us. I hope you have more stories and more writings to share in your future and see that develop. But thank you so much for each of you to share this time with us.
Brian, what do you want to say?
Yeah, so I'll speak for Brian, who's our colleague who's not here. He is flying in from Phoenix as we speak. But one thing that he says all the time is usually he doesn't have a question, but he says some very deep and profound words. What he says is, the kids who are standing here are one of the reasons why we're here, because it helps us understand and it helps us connect that whatever we do here should help you guys in your classrooms, in your experiences where you feel safe, you feel like you're learning, you feel like you're having a good time, making friends, making memories, being able to learn so that you can write about all these wonderful things that you're doing. So he usually doesn't have a question, but on his behalf, thank you so much for coming here.
And I'll just add, so I loved how there was such a wide array of genre. You had informational, you had personal narrative, you had historical fiction, you had guidebooks. Thank you, is it Elisa? I really do worry about whether there's going to be enough parking wherever I go. So the fact that you told me, don't worry, there's enough parking was like, thank you, that really helped. And then Pradat, is that how I say your name? You had me on the edge of my seat with this double seat bomber in enemy territory coming after you. So I read through all of them. I was really impressed with how creative you all were and just how much time I could tell you put into it and you really cared. We write for ourselves, but we also write so that other people can read what we write, right? And so we really enjoyed reading what you wrote, and I just want to thank you for sharing it with us tonight.
Good job.
Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you.
you, Carrie, for this packet. It was
Yes.
Yes.
amazing.
We're going to take that home, yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Ready to go.
No.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you to the parents also for
Yeah,
sharing your
thank you, parents.
kiddos with us.
And teachers.
And teachers.
teachers.
Thank you, yes.
We see how each grade, like there's each grade level and like how it evolves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Progressive.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
Real
amazing.
treat, thank you.
All right. I'd like to report out that there was no action taken in closed session. And do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So it's my understanding we need to reconvene in closed after we,
Correct, yes, there will be. Thank you for reminding me. We will be reconvening and closed at the end of open session. So,
I
yes.
move to approve the agenda with that amendment.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion. Okay. Comments from the public?
All right. Members of the public may address the board on any subject of concern to you, including those not on tonight's agenda. However, provisions of the Brown Act preclude any action as an unagendized item. No response is required or permitted from the board or district staff, and as already stated, no action can be taken. The board, however, may instruct the superintendent to follow up, which may or may not include placing the item on a future meeting agenda. If you would like to address the board this evening, please complete the blue comment card within the first 15 minutes of the board meeting being called to order in public session. On the card, please list the agenda item you would like to speak to. If your comments do not pertain to an agendized item, please write public comment. When your name is called, please come to the podium and state your name and organization that you are representing. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per the board governance manual. Do we have any public comments this evening?
We have some empty shout outs.
I'm going to do the shout outs.
Oh,
absolutely.
I'll only read a few. Hi, Lisa, how are you? Okay. The MSD counseling team, a tremendous thank you to the entire district counseling squad. There is no more supportive, resourceful, wise, and nurturing group around. Thank you for always coming together. Gina Sitpayne, Shanoa Ross, thank you for always putting our students first. We appreciate you changing up what you're doing this year to make sure that our students' needs are being met. Caitlin Harrington, Alex Camberos, you are amazing. I love the way you work with my students. You are engaging, gentle, and encouraging, which is what these kids need. They're showing so much growth in their oral language production and are much more confident. Chris Bean.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report?
Yes, so Ulysses, here we go. Moving on to the first slide, I want to highlight some really great work that's going on in our schools. So on March 3rd, Latimer hosted an early literacy night for parents called Books and Bites, where about 40 parents with students in kindergarten through second grade came to learn how to support their child at home with reading and writing. It was very meaningful. I'd like to give a big shout out to Hillary and Larry for all the teachers that helped run centers, teaching the parents about how to increase literacy at home. Next slide. Last Thursday, I attended what is one of the highlights of the year over at Moreland Middle School Science Expo. It's held over in the MMS multi-use room and features student scientists and engineers in action. I was really impressed with the student presentation. So student pairs work on a project where they're answering an important question in science. For instance, could a robot duck with a camera system help explore more of the ocean? Or, if so, which way would be most successful? Another pair explored the relationship between sensory input and relaxation in autism spectrum disorder, and another looked at the effects of AI on the global economy and employment. There was one other that also took soil samples around Moreland School District, and I told them they should send all of that over to the MOT department, and we could double check some of their numbers. But it was a really fun night. I want to say thank you to all the teachers, and Scott Adamson always kind of leads that event and has been for years. Next slide. Look at that crew. Moreland took part in the Santa Clara County Office of Education Teacher Recruitment Fair this last weekend. And then the week before that, we were really excited to have our very own Moreland Certificated Job Fair. 93 applicants applied through EdJoin, and 75 attended that afternoon. So as a result of those recruitment efforts, 3 candidates have already been hired, 2 additional job offers have been extended. Our school sites have followed up scheduled school visits with some prospective candidates, and overall, very successful. I want to say thank you to the HR team and all of the principals and assistant principals that showed up at both of the events looking to find really strong teaching candidates. Oh, Michelle was here too on them.
It was
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah, it was really well run. Next slide. Okay, here it is, finally, this Saturday, the MEF 5K. Starts at 9, the run will begin at 9 a.m. right here in front over at the track. And we are very excited. Each school will be represented. We've got a lot of staff that are signed up this year, so district office will be out in force. We might not be first in the race, but we will be out in force. Next.
You guys will be running as well.
Walking.
Participating, yes.
I'll be there with you guys. I'll be participating.
I will
as
also
well.
be participating.
Yeah, we'll be participating together.
We will be here. And unbelievably, open house season is upon us. MMS will have the first one. They'll kick that off on Wednesday, April 8th. Anderson follows at the end of the month, and then the rest of our schools have their open houses in May. You can find all of the upcoming dates on our open house on our school district website. So I just wanted to, make sure people are aware that that's happening. It's such an amazing opportunity to kind of see the joy that's taken place in our classrooms throughout the year. And each school has a little different flavor to their open house. They're not all the same. And then just a friendly reminder, next slide, that spring break will be coming up April 13th through 17th. There is no school for spring break. I know educators are crawling to the finish line, getting there. March is a long month in the life of school district people. So thank you to all of our educators out there for supporting our kids. And we know that, spring has sprung. Spring has sprung. And that concludes my remarks for tonight.
Thank you. It almost seems like we skipped spring this season and went straight to summer. Board member communications?
I'll just add on that I was, last week I was able to join Cub Scout Pack 325, Weeblo Den. They're a pack of 4th graders who wanted to interview someone as a community elected official, and they had a handful of questions from, do you know every child in the district, to do you know every teacher in the district, to how big is the district, but they had some great questions. Parents included. I think the parents were kind of easing them in there, and there was some that were very, very engaged, and others that were like, who are you? But it was great. It was just great to see interested people within our area. I always appreciate our Cub Scouts, those who participate in that. It's for many a long-term, dedication to the Cub Scouts going into the Boy Scouts, and I know a few people who have, including some nephews and nieces. It's always great to see their interests and what they're doing to learn about the community and how to be good community members. So that's all I had to say.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm remiss, I should at least express thanks to all of our site leaders. This is a fall or spring visit season, and so we're out and about visiting the sites, and we know that's a huge commitment of time, and obviously something we're incredibly grateful for, and so I hope they know, please let them know how much we appreciate that. Some are done, some are to be
Yeah.
done, but amazing.
Yeah, and on that note, just wanted to say that I was at 4 different sites, Anderson, Baker, Country Lane, and EDS, in partnership with Heather and Brian. And again, a lot of enthusiasm and interest from the school, from the site leaders to kind of share all the great work that's been happening. And we're looking forward to kind of next steps in all the work that has gone in. So there'll be more. But thank you again, to Heather's point, thank you so much to each of the site leaders for taking the time. And there's a few more coming up in the next couple of weeks. Okay, all right. And then we'll move into reports.
No, I'm CSEA.
No MCS here tonight. So parcel tax oversight report.
Yeah, so we have the parcel tax report that Mr. Sabine is going to present for you. As you know, part of the parcel tax language is to have a report. So for this one, we're going to actually close out measure G, thank you, and then have an update on measure U, because we're kind of in those in between years. And then once she's done with that, we'll do the bond. So, go ahead, Sandy.
Thank you. So yeah, so measure G and measure U are basically the same kind of wording, the same amount. So we closed last year measure G, so this is a final report. The goal of the committee is to mainly make sure that all the money was used as awarded by the ballot. It was approved on June 7th in 2016, so the 8 years run their way. It was 142 per parcel, and there was senior exemptions. The objectives, it's the same if you remember, as you used, that was a few years ago. It's attract and retain high quality teachers, support core programs, science, reading, and math, and provide modern classroom technology and materials. Also maintain small class sizes and keep school libraries open and accessible. The big contrast is 0 funds are spent on administrative salaries. Next slide mostly shows the exemption history, that we have a lot of exemption actually in our district. We still get an amount of around 1,500,000 on the last year. It's less than on the first year of this measure, and we had more exemption. We started with 852, and by the end of the 8 years, we had 1,1171. So the number of exemption is rising as we have also more seniors, and they are requiring it. So this is the final report on Measure G. It only shows the last year because all the previous year were already shown in previous work. So we received 1,555,939. It was mostly spent on classroom teachers, computer specialists, library specialists, as it said on the ballot. We also had a fund for teacher leadership, library reference materials, instructional materials, classroom technology, and the exemption preparation fee. So the revenue and the expense balance, and they were all spent on what the voter agreed. So this is another comparison to show how the expense evolve between year 1 and year 8. So mostly, well, there's difference in teacher because we went from 6.25 FTE to 5 FTE, and some other expenses. Basically, everything costs more, so
Yeah.
a lot of things. 100. No measure U. So last year, well, kind of this year was the first year. So it was approved on November 4th, 2024, with a very good number of 77 person agreeing on that. It's the same amount, like we said, it's for 8 years, and there is still senior exemption. So all the senior that got an exemption for Measure G didn't have to reapply for Measure U. So they kept all those. So we're not starting from 0, we're starting from the 1,100 we already have. The wording, the objectives, and the constraints are exactly the same as with Measure G, so I already read those. And I think all districts are really into making sure we can attract and retain high quality teacher and support core program. Like, I think keeping school library open and accessible was also very important for the Moreland community. On the next slide, we can see what was the budget, because we're still on this school year. Again, so we cannot see the total expense, but it's balanced between revenue and, well, it will be if it's spent like that, between revenue and expenses. Again, it's mostly spent, like the 1,400,000 spent on classroom teachers, computer science specialists, library specialists. And for the teacher leader, stipend, library reference materials, instructional materials, classroom technology, and exemption preparation fee is kind of almost the same. So depending on the year, sometimes there is more on instructional material or more on library reference material or classroom technology. It's really depends on the needs of the district, depending on the year. But it's mostly staying the same, which is, I'm very grateful that the district is voting on this measure and that the district is also spending them. So mostly the next report will be the final report on this year and the budget on next year. If you have any questions, it's mostly pretty straightforward.
Questions?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming and
Yes.
preparing this.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Presenting it.
Yeah.
And for serving,
Yeah.
Yes,
serving on the
absolutely.
committee.
Yeah.
We're 6 people on the committee, 6 citizens, and I think if more people want to join, they will be welcome. It's very interesting level of commitment, but also very important to prove that we are
100%, yeah.
Absolutely.
Please extend to the other committee members our gratitude. I think to serve in any capacity is really amazing, and so we're grateful for that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is just a report, so no action is needed.
There's no action to.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
We'll
Great.
move to the Bond Oversight Committee report.
You're the next one.
Oh, you're back. Wait, there's more.
There's more.
So we will be presenting the bond pool report for Measure M.
Okay.
So on this one, we are just 5 people, so again, if more people want to join, they're very welcome. It's really interesting. Trevor answered all our questions because we did ask a lot, and it's really a good thing to do. So the report for the Measure M overview. So the Measure M is not a tax proposal, it's a bond measure. So the main difference is that it's about buildings, to make it complete. The ballot language is pretty big. So I'm sure everyone remember it's to spend it on very specific thing for buildings, for infrastructure. It's not to be spent for teacher or for library. It's really to be spent on technology, on roof, like on fencing. So the goal of our committee to make sure that all the money is really only spent on the wording of the ballot. So the Measure M uses repair and replace leaky roof, building an efficient HVAC system, electrical wiring, and aging infrastructure. It upgrades safety and security system, including fire alarm, communication systems, security camera, and fencing. It ensures that children, playgrounds, walkways, and fields meet current health and safety standards. It keeps schools safe, clean, and well-maintained. And it upgrades student learning environment for the 21st century learning. So this is a review of the last 5 years of spending for Measure M. So the revenue on those 5 years was 55 million, and here is a list of projects that we have already spent money on. So the paging system, the security fencing, lighting was 5 million, which was one of the big ones. Shared structure quad, again almost 4 million. The roofing, it's almost 6 million, and the HVAC, which came at a good time. Is almost 10 million. So it's also infrastructure and fields. So the total expense for those first 5 years is 28 million. And all those expenses fit the wording of the bill. The project for next year, well, actually this year, but it's still budget because we're not done with the year, is to still pay for the fencing, security, and lighting. There's still some 1 million people to pay. Shed structure and quad, there's still a little bit left. Roofing, there's still 5 million, not a little bit. HVAC, there's still a little bit to spend. Infrastructure, fields, and we have a bond manager that makes sure that all the money is well spent. Because when you see those numbers, you can imagine that managing all those projects is quite huge, and we need to make sure that it's done in respect of the law and the ballot and the decision of the voters. So it's why it's a person, but it's still allowed by the wording of the project. And at the end, we also have Measure M overview for the tech part, because there is a tech part on this bond. So we have camera for middle schools, infrastructure, the two-way radios, and software. So the remaining bond fund for the part concerning tech is 3 million, and we had initially 6 million. So we're kind of good, the projects are going well, the manager is doing his job. And as committee, we can only say that everything is as it should be. I don't know if you have any questions?
Questions from the board? No? Again, thank you so much. This is it's a pretty significant amount of money that we've raised, and it does put a big responsibility on us to manage it. So thank you for the due diligence and making sure that it is spent so that it's for the benefit of the kids. Thank you.
Thank you for organizing all the project and making sure that the school stays
Yeah.
safe with no leaky roof.
Yeah, yeah,
We appreciate that.
absolutely, yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
And to the voters for supporting both efforts, right?
Absolutely,
Very
absolutely.
fortunate.
Yes, we really are. Moving on to the discussion and action items. 6A, resolution declaring May 6th as Day of the Employee.
So we're asking that you declare May 6th the Day of the Moreland Employee, one of our favorite days where we are going to celebrate and appreciate all of the hard work and all of our Moreland employees. We're just asking that you approve May 6th as our day to celebrate.
Are there any?
Bringing food, we will be bringing a little gift.
Awesome, okay. Any questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, thank you. 6B, the declaration of need for 2026-2027 school year. I think we do need a school year.
So as we move into the hiring season for the 26-27 school year, we went to the job fair. We have lots of great candidates. We interacted with like 120 at the Santa Clara County, 75 here. The principals are we're calling references and doing lots of school tours and visits. But as we get closer, if we do have a need where we've looked and we need an emergency waiver or emergency permit, this grants us permission as it gets closer to the school year or in the middle of the school year, if someone goes out on maternity leave, that we can replace them with an emergency permit. And we have to give that ahead of time before the 26-27 school year.
Got it. And this is one of those routine things that we do around this time of the year, right?
Yeah, this is just for emergency permits and waivers, and we have to, again, go and find fully qualified people first, make sure we've done our due diligence, and then if the best candidate happens to be someone, we've looked with, that needs an emergency waiver or
Right.
emergency permit, this allows us to hire them and go that route.
And we're doing this preemptively. It's not like all of these are like.
No, this is, you have to put in like kind of what you think you might need preemptively, based on like what might have happened in years past. If we needed more than that, we would come back, but we've not used that many.
Okay.
And we have a declaration of need already in place for this
For
school year
this
that we
school
took
year.
action on, yeah.
Last time, so then this is for the next school year as we go into the next hiring cycle.
Great.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you so much. Moving on to the consent items. Any questions on the consent items?
So I have just two probably just one quick one on the contracts. Actually, two. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about the fence upgrades at Baker. Obviously, we've had a lot of fencing go on, and so what is this specifically?
This one is, so as we're getting ready to do the fields, it's kind of part of kind of the overall field project, so there's some fencing in the back that needs to get secure before we start the fields. So that's what that entails. So kind of the back corner, there's some fencing that needs to be done, and kind of ahead of the fields ready to go.
So yeah, this is by the fence that is shared with the,
Neighbors.
not the new construction, but newer
No,
construction.
kind of
The older construction,
corner.
back wall, yeah.
So as we do these big projects, there's kind of these like ancillary like projects that need to get done.
Yeah.
To make sure it looks nice and safe and sure,
Yeah.
so this is part of it.
And that was, did we put the new fencing along that side? We didn't, right? It still is
No,
the
no,
old,
that's-
that is all the, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what, actually, yeah, it came up when we were on, at the Baker site. Okay.
The other question I had was with regard to the technology, and I think maybe it was already answered tonight about if these technology pieces being funded by the bond are coming out of that 6 million.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it's part of kind of the overall infrastructure.
perfect. Thank you. Preemptively answered my question.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve tonight's consent in aggregate.
Second?
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. Let's move to future meeting dates. Any questions on future meeting dates? Thanks to the spring break, even these kiddos get a week off. April 28th is the next meeting. Any? You're good? Okay. Announcements, reminders, requests? Anything? Okay, all right. Having none, meeting's adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you. We're adjourned to close.